I just got back from a Super Bowl party. Super Bowl party ended kind of early tonight because the game wasn't all that competitive. I mean, that was a flipping wipeout. And, you know, I wasn't completely correct, mostly correct, not 100% completely correct. But I will do this. Give myself a pat on the back because what we watched today was such a thing of beauty. And I don't even like the Eagles, but man, oh man, watching Patrick the hat trick Mahomes not get his hat trick. Oh, that was a thing of beauty, people. That was a thing of beauty. And let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant. Powered by Coming Out of the Podcast. We talk facts over feelings over here. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show Mott, aka Rudy the Hammer. Welcome back to everyone who's been here before. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Hit that bell, hit all those things, leave a comment, all good stuff. Share the video. And for those of you who are new to the channel, please be sure to hit the like button, pound the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, all that stuff, so you get all the up-to-minute content. Super Bowl. I don't even know what Super Bowl number this is. Is it L1V? I don't even know. This is 58? Is it 59? What Super Bowl is this? Super Bowl 59? Is that what we are at? Are we at 59? L1X, yeah. We're at 59. Super Bowl 59. Ended. Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions, 40-22. Absolute demolition. Absolute demolition of the Kansas City Chiefs. That was an absolute wipeout. It was an even worse wipeout than I expected it to be. And I said, I don't know, what did I say? Let me refresh your memory. Just to refresh your memory, I'm giving you a double dose of Rudy. This was earlier today. This video right here, this video that's on your screen. I did this video about, I don't know, what was it, 1:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Let's play it. We have two very good defenses and one very good offense. I just think that at the end of the day, the Eagles are better across the board. They have more weapons on offense. They are better on defense. And I would be looking at this game being like probably 38-21. It's going to be a wipeout. It will not be close. Patrick Mahomes will not have a chance to have a miracle. Patrick Mahomes will not have a chance to have referees put their wisdom on the game. Now, man, I don't want to call myself a prophet, but man, I feel like a prophet today. Obviously, when you make predictions, a lot of that shit's luck. But I gotta tell you, I really believe that Philadelphia's going to win this game. They're a better team, and Kansas City got a lot of lucky breaks this season. A lot of lucky stuff went their way. A lot of things. You got to have the ball bounce your way a whole lot to win the games the way they won games. The way they won 11 games by one score or less, having kicks blocked, kicks missed, toes on lines, all kinds of wild ways to win games this year. They won them in a variety of ways. And then, of course, they win the AFC Championship after two clear first downs that went their way instead of that of the Buffalo Bills. Otherwise, Buffalo's probably playing this game. But I also said how this would go. And that's where I wanted to hit on because the score 38-21. The final score is 40-22. It's pretty close. It wasn't that close. 40-22 is nice. This game was, what was it, 40-6? 37, was it 40-6 at one point? This was an absolute demolition. This was a destruction. This was an absolute destruction. The Eagles mauled Kansas City. This was worse than what you saw in when the Chiefs lost to the Bucks a few years ago. This was worse. Like, for real, it was worse. At one point, it was 24-0 at halftime. I won a box on a Super Bowl box. I never win boxes on those things, but I won a box. This game was 40-6 with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Casey got a couple of fluff touchdowns, 40-14, got a deep one to where after I think already Kansas City had dumped the Gatorade or water on Nick Sirianni. And there's reports that Vic Fangio never dialed up one singular blitz. Now, that's insane. Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins last year, and the Dolphins defense couldn't stop a freaking runny nose, goes to Philly and he looks like God. But he didn't dial up one singular blitz. They got to Patrick Mahomes all game long without blitzing. Without blitzing at all. 6.5 sacks. A pick six. Another pick inside the 15-yard line after. When was that? Oh, that was after what that was late in the half. Let me see. When was that exactly? That was after Philadelphia punted and the Chiefs get the ball at their own 6-yard line and an interception for the Eagles, gives them the ball at the 14, and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone and it's 24-0. 12-yard touchdown pass from Hurts to A.J. Brown. It was bad, bro. And the second half starts off for KC. They're punting the ball in 5 plays, and the Eagles score again to make it 27. It's 34-0. It's like it was one thing after that. They were relentlessly pressuring Kansas City. Kansas City's game plan was really suspect, to say the least. Very suspect. Even if you look at the way they started the game. Pass, 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 pass. Next possession. Pass, run, pass. Pass, pass, pass. It's still 7-0. Remember that. Then it's 10-0 Philadelphia, and pass, sack. So that's a pass. Pass, pass, pick 6. It's 17-0. Here we go. Run, run, pass, punt. They ran the ball 3 times in the first half. 3 times. And that happened a lot with the game still at 7-0. They never tried to run the ball. They never tried to run the ball. Now, I don't know how they defended Travis Kelce. I've not watched this game on film or anything like that, but I said that they should bracket Travis Kelce all game and make Patrick Mahomes throw the ball to someone else. Travis Kelce at halftime had 0 catches. He had 0 catches. It's 24-0. Travis Kelce's first catch. Let's see here. His first catch. Yeah, I'm looking for when his first catch took place. Mahomes. His first catch was at the 3:32 mark of the third quarter. A 9-yard pass on 3rd and 13. And then they went for it and got stopped on 4th down. That was the first time Kelce caught the ball. Game was already over. Some people said, yeah, remember what Tom Brady did, man? Nah, man. There was a difference in that game. In that game, see, people forget there's different things that happen in games. In that game, even though the Patriots were losing, they had the Falcons back then had the ball for a long. No, the Patriots had the ball for a long time. The Falcons were scoring quickly. Boom, boom. Their defense never got a chance to rest. If I remember correctly, the Patriots had like double the plays on offense in that game. So the Falcons defense by the third quarter was really getting tired. That's not what happened here. Philadelphia had long drives. That they're driving the third quarter to make it 27-0. Ate like 6 minutes off the clock. 6-7 minutes. This was after they forced KC to punt. So the time of possession was 37-23. Philly had the ball. Even though Saquon Barkley didn't run the ball incredibly well, he had 25 carries, 57 yards. Jalen Hurts, another 11 carries for 72 yards. Saquon Barkley had 6 catches for 40 yards. So there were a lot of things that they did to keep possession. They actually had, at the end of the day, 45 running plays for 135 yards. That's 3 yards a carry, but you know what that does? It eats the clock. It bleeds the clock. The Kansas City Chiefs, and heck, if you take away Jalen Hurts' 11 carries, not all of those were forced runs. Not all of those were scrambles. Some of those were called runs. So let's say that 45, that 35, 30, let's say 40 of those were called runs. I can tell you this, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes had 4 carries. The rest of the team had 7. They called 7 running plays the entire game. That first half, that game plan in the first half was utterly horrendous. Philadelphia pinned their ears back and just went crazy. Josh Sweat was in the backfield all game long. Milton Williams in the backfield all game long. That defensive line was back in Mahomes' breadbasket the entire game, man. Josh Sweat, like, dude, this guy, even when he didn't get the sack, he put so much pressure. The pick right before halftime, that happened because Josh Sweat pushed the left tackle right into Patrick Mahomes' leg, which caused the ball to be misthrown. A bad throw. That was Josh Sweat. Great catch by the linebacker. Great catch by him. But that was about Josh Sweat right there. He created that play. Zach Bond made a great pick, but Josh Sweat made that play. For real, for real. That was big time. And that was going on the entire game. But I'm going to put up another part of my video from earlier today so you can see what I said. But I have a feeling it's not going to be a close game. I have a feeling we're going to see something similar to when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when Tom Brady's last Super Bowl win. I have a feeling we're going to see the Philadelphia Eagles maul Kansas City. You're going to see some plays that go the wrong way, where generally it goes the way of the Chiefs. You're going to see some tip. You might see a tip ball that turns into a pick six. You may see a couple of drops that end drives for Kansas City. But what you're going to see is you're going to see the Eagles run the ball really, really well. I think Saquon Barkley's going to bust out some big runs. If you look at what happened 2 weeks ago against Washington, they drive down the field. They kick a field goal. They hold the ball for half the quarter. And then Saquon Barkley, the first play for the Eagles, goes for a 60-yard touchdown. That's his ability. So let's talk about that. Like I said, I was wrong about the Saquon deal. He did, account for 31 touches, 97 yards. He didn't have any big plays. He had a couple of 10-yard runs or so. The Chiefs did a really good job keeping him contained for the most part. But what they didn't do is they didn't contain Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts rushed for 72 yards and 11 carries, had some big running plays to keep drives going. And that did happen. They did run the ball well enough. They kept KC off the field. 45 carries for 135 yards. Again, with 3.3 yards a carry, but it did what it needed to do. And what did you see? A pick six by Cooper DeJean. It wasn't tipped, but hey, a pick six is a pick six. Another pick, Zach Bond. That's the one right before halftime. You had 6 sacks. What'd you have? I said a drop ball. There was a drop ball. It was a DeAndre Hopkins or Xavier Worthy. It was DeAndre Hopkins on one where he was wide open, and it was kind of reminiscent of the balls that Tyreek Hill dropped against Tampa Bay. But even on that play, what was interesting was that he drops the ball that's thrown. It was a perfectly thrown ball by Mahomes, and he probably catches 99 out of 100 times. But there was a holding on the right tackle in that play, a clear holding. I mean, everyone in the place that I was watching was like, oh my God, he just tackled him. He just tackled him. And they didn't call it. They did not call it. And I got to give these referees credit. They didn't, it was, the calls were fairly even. People will say, oh, well, the Chiefs got more. No, actually, the Eagles got called for 8 penalties. The Chiefs got called for 7. There was one penalty that was really, really bad in this game, and it destroyed Kansas City, in my opinion. It would have been 3rd and 26. And there was a pass play that went to Saquon Barkley, or I don't remember if the ball was thrown to him, but he got hit after the play in what was, I mean, I'll be real. This is part of the softness in football that I don't like very much, that where it's gone. But it was a play that kept the drive going. It was a play that just kept the drive going. Let me see where that was, when that specifically was. Was that when they made it? That wasn't 24-0. That was, let's see here. Okay. They didn't score on this possession, but it's 2nd and 26 from the Philly 29. And Jalen Hurts throws an incomplete pass to Barkley, and Bolton hits him late. And they call it a late hit roughing on Bolton, and unnecessary roughness, automatic first down. Now the Chiefs have the ball at the 44. And you might think, okay, they didn't score in this possession, no big deal. But I will tell you why it was a big deal. It's a big deal because on 3rd and 26, more than likely, you're up 17-0. At that point, you're going to run the ball and punt it. And you might get a few yards. You're punting from your own 30, 35. That means the Chiefs get the ball at the 30, right? Instead, the ball's now at the 44. Philadelphia now runs some more clock. On 3rd and 3, they have an incomplete pass to A.J. Brown. So there's 2 minutes left. Under 2 minutes left, they punt the ball. On 4th and 3, they punted it from midfield. Punting from midfield, they put the ball on Kansas City's 6-yard line. What was the first play after that punt? Interception by Zach Bond at the 14-yard line. And 2 plays later, it's 24-0. That penalty directly impacted that half. It impacted where the punt came from, where the punt landed, and what happened on a couple of plays later. All of it had an impact. Do you have the same impact if they punt from the 30 and you get the ball at the 30 and then you have a pick and it's at the 45, 50-yard line? Doesn't have the same impact because you're not going to score in 2 plays typically. So that play did have a direct impact. But overall, the game was fairly cleanly officiated. I mean, there was some clear, holdings. This officiating crew does call holding from what I've read, and they called it on both teams. They did call it on both teams, and for the most part, it was a very evenly officiated game. Philadelphia Eagles just dog walked these dudes today, and it came down to those pick six, another pick, and at one point, the Kansas City did pick off Jalen Hurts at the 3-yard line, right, or something around there, and that was a big situation because you're saying, shit, they're about to push the ball in, at least get a field goal, and so they get nothing. But the Eagles defense did their thing again. They put mad pressure on Patrick Mahomes, forced a 3 and out. That hasn't happened a lot. There was for the first half, Patrick Mahomes literally couldn't do anything. I mean, he really couldn't do anything. And it's one of those things, if you don't have to blitz and you're getting the intense pressure that they were getting on him, bro, it's gonna be a long damn night. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they did their thing. They really came to play. Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, those players, they wrote their story tonight. Saquon Barkley's a Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl champion. And he was told by the New York Giants that he wasn't good enough. They told the world he wasn't good enough. I mean, you can't write it better than that for that guy. You cannot write it any better than that for Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. That was dominating. And now here's the question. Here's the real question now. What happens with the Kansas City Chiefs? They've endured a loss like this before. But Travis Kelce at the time of this loss was how old? See, I think we have to consider these things. There's been all kinds of rumors that he might retire. His brother just retired. He's 35. He'll be 36 in October of next year. When he lost to the Bucs, he was 30. He had more years left, 31, something like that. He didn't have the type of amazing year that he's had in the past. I mean, he had 97 catches, 8.5 yards a catch, 823 yards, only 3 touchdowns in the regular season. He's not the same guy. He really isn't. And you hate to point out the decline of people, but you look at him, his last 2 seasons, They weren't like those seasons from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, where he's going for 1338, 1125, 1416, 1229, 1336, 1038, 1125. I mean, this year, 823, last year, 984. It's going the wrong direction. They got some wide receiver weapons, but there's no Tyreek Hill out there. Xavier Worthy's a decent receiver. But you got to wonder if Travis Kelce calls it quits, and there's a great possibility he might. I mean, what does he have to play for? He's the one that gets hit. He's the one that's getting older. He doesn't. I mean, you want to be a tight end at 36? I mean, maybe he's got one more year left in him. I don't think this man plays past next year. I don't think he plays past next year. I just don't see it. And you look at the rest of his team. I mean, Xavier Worthy's a good enough young receiver, 59 catches. He has to really step out. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, he looks to be on the wrong side of it now too. He's 32, going to be 33, and he just turned 33 in June. He's obviously going on the wrong side of his career. Juju Smith-Schuster did nothing, So there aren't a lot of. I mean, Hollywood Brown, not much of anything this season. I'm sure he was hurt for most of the year. Must have been. We'll see. And I think Andy Reid, I read or heard that he might get another year or two before he calls it quits. Tell you right now, this could be the end of the Kansas City dynasty. And think about this for a second. Remember when the Patriots won 3 out of 4 with Brady? Then they didn't win for the next decade. They were good. And I don't think KC will become bad. They were good, but they weren't Super Bowl good. They weren't winning. They went to Super. Now, mind you, Brady did go to the Super Bowl with an 18-0 team that should have won the Super Bowl, and then went to the Super Bowl again. They lost both those games to the Giants. But yeah, it took 10 years to win it again. You need the right things to go your way at the right time. Could Patrick Mahomes experience that same situation where you're dealing with injuries, the wrong players, situations? You don't know. Philadelphia might have ended a dynasty tonight. They definitely ended a three-peat, but they might have ended a dynasty. We shall see what happens. Then the first question is, does Travis Kelce come back? Because if Travis Kelce does not come back, Kansas City will be a different team next year. But that's all. Those are my thoughts. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champion, Saquon Barkley. He's living a dream, made-for-TV movie. He didn't get the MVP, but had a pretty good game. Jalen Hurts balled his ass off. The defense for Philly was incredible. Incredible. He made your boy look like a prophet. So thank you very much. That's all I got. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell, leave a comment. For those of you who have been here before, leave a comment. Like the video. I appreciate y'all. Just like that. Like. This is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts and feelings. Come on now.